Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we are celebrating our first Sunday in Lent, and as promised, we're going to go over the 7 last words of Jesus over the last 7 weeks, the 7 last words that Jesus spoke on the cross. And today's first word is, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now listen, a lot of scripture that we are used to is in that old King James version, and it kind of sounds like you're reading a legal contract. You know, we're not Shakespeare, so there's no need for us to talk like how they talked back in the 1500s or whatever this Bible was interpreted. So as we're talking and pulling quotes out the Bible and also looking at the 7 last words of Jesus, we're going to talk like how we talk, right? We're not going to lose the essence of it, but we're going to come to an understanding of what we're actually talking about. So I've translated it into, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. And so this is a word of forgiveness. So that is what we're talking about today. How do we forgive in the world, right? So before we go into that, let's talk about who the first person that we must forgive. And that first person is us. We have to forgive ourselves, our emotions. We have to forgive ourselves for everything that we thought we did wrong, we might have did wrong, what people said we did wrong. We have to forgive ourselves for these emotions before we can move on to the next great thing. Would you put your fist in the air and affirm with me? Say, I forgive me. I forgive me. I forgive my mistakes. I forgive my failures. I forgive my shortcomings. I forgive my anger. I forgive every negative thought I've ever had about me. I forgive me. Because people are so busy running around forgiving others, forgiving people, but even when we say we forgive, or even when we're holding on to something that someone else did or didn't do, it all matters what our reaction to the situation was, where we felt we came up short, where we let anger take control of the situation, take control of our reactions, where we thought that our failures, our mistakes, were something that held us back from our highest good. But once we forgive ourselves and realize that these experiences that we had were all part of the process, all bringing us closer to our highest good, what a great world we can build. What a great world we can have for ourselves. Friends, I want you to remember to forgive yourself for living low. Forgive yourself for thinking that you were ever unworthy. Forgiveness starts with you, since you are the only one with those emotions. You are the only ones with unforgiveness. You got to understand that sometimes people don't care about our emotions, right? People, and even when we confront them and we feel that, you did me wrong, I'm confronting you, people sometimes still don't care about your emotions, and it's not for them to care. You have to guard your emotions. You have to guard the forgiveness and the unforgiveness in you, because at the end of the day, you are your longest relationship. People will come and go, but this body, this mind, this soul, this spirit that we all have within us is the catalyst that brings us to the next phase of life. So sometimes we have to swallow our pride. Sometimes we have to swallow our ego. So the question now becomes, who are we? Who are you when faced with chances to forgive? Who are you when you are faced with chances to forgive? Friends, don't let unforgiveness turn into shame and regret and guilt and want and lack and denial. Deal with the difficult emotions. Deal with how you felt with the situation, how you're planning to move on from the situation, how you're planning to forgive, how you're planning to treat people that did you wrong and need forgiveness in your life. You see, for some people, it's easier for them to ask for forgiveness than permission. So people will do things to us and just figure, I'll apologize on the back end of it. And again, when people know better, they would do better. If they knew better, they wouldn't treat us that way. So it means then that everyone is entitled to do whatever they want to us. It's about how we respond. So again, who are you when faced with forgiveness, with chances to forgive? Do you have this ego that says, do you have this pride that says, oh no, they did me wrong. Oh no, to save face with other people. Oh no, to show that I have strength and power. Oh no, to show that I'm a grown man or a grown woman. Oh no, to show that I am the best. I am the boss. I cannot let these things pass. And so, let me tell you something. Some things you cannot let pass. Let your intuition tell you when to let those things happen in your life. But at the end of the day, are you forgiving? And let me be honest with you. It's going to take all the strength in you and out of you to forgive. But at the end of the day, it is worth it. At the end of the day, it is worth it. Now, I asked the question, right? What are you when faced with chances to forgive? Here's the thing. Anyone can answer that question right now. But in life, there is what we would like to do in a situation, right? When posed with an existential question like this, it's easy to say, oh, I would do this, I would do that, But when we're faced with the situation, when we're in the situation, actually, it might be a different story. And depending on whether we meet the challenge or not, it can bring shame. It can bring regret. It can bring denial of the situation. But we have to let those things go. For our sanity, for our peace of mind, we have to let it go and take the situation as it is and build on something great and wonderful. Friends, be willing to forgive. Just for your sanity, just for your peace of mind. Fist in the air, affirm with me. I am willing to forgive and let go for my sanity. Don't let these people drive you crazy. Don't let these people give you headaches and heartaches and heartburn and back pain and leg cramps and everything else that comes with the stress of unforgiveness. Everything else that comes with the stress of holding on to events and situations and experiences and ideals that other people bring into your life. So we look at the first word that Jesus said on the cross. And I don't know if I said this, but scientists and historians have put together the 7 last words of Jesus, and that's what we're reading from today. So the first word is, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. Now think about this. Jesus was on the cross, right? He knew he was about to die. There was no way that they were gonna take the nails out of his hands and his foot and go, oops, our bad. We're not gonna crucify you today. Let's put some petroleum jelly on that. Let's see if we can heal that. No, he knew what his faith was. Now imagine Jesus forgave in the face of his own murder. Imagine that. And we always must remember that the point of Jesus is to show us that here was God in human form, just like you and I. And if Jesus went through these difficult situations, it means that difficult situations will come up in our lives. But as Jesus is our way shower, he gave us the blueprint on how to handle these situations. And in the worst situation of his own death, his own murder, he was able, the first word was of forgiveness. The first word was him forgiving the people that were around him that were bringing on his death. By and towards those who were killing him. Can we look at those who are killing our spirit, or try to, Can we look at those people that don't prop us up and don't give us the energy and the encouragement that we need, that actually do the opposite, make sure that we fail? Can we look at them and say, Lord, forgive them? They do not know what they are doing. You see, Jesus knew what he was. And so as we look at forgiveness in our lives, we have to know who we are. We are children of a living God. We are powerful. Therefore, those who try to kill us and hold us down do not know that they are killing the king. They don't know that they are killing the queen. They don't know that they are messing with royalty. We are the king's kid, is one of my favorite preachers, Joe Hill, his book, I am the king's kid. Therefore, nothing in this human world, in this human realm, can shock me, can knock me off the path of goodness, can knock me off the path of my goal. Jesus revealed a deeper understanding. Some things are bigger than us. Some things are bigger than what our human mind can gather and comprehend. So it means that we must not fall victim to self-victimization. Right? Self-victimization is where you become the victim of your experience. Everything, as people say, a psychological term is you're globalizing, right? That something so small as you pick up a pen and it doesn't work, right? Now, pens run out of ink, or sometimes they get dry. They may not work on the first shot. But because you have all this anger, all this forgiveness, the pen now becomes your outlet for your anger. Right? Oh, just because this little pen doesn't work, nothing in your life ever works out for you. And you globalize. All of a sudden, everything is bad. Everything in your world, everything on the globe is giving you the headache, the heartache, the disappointments, the fears, the doubts, right? Because that is what our world is. We don't feel that we are good enough. But today I'm here to tell you that you are not only good enough, you are great enough. You are more than good enough. It's up to you to believe it. Today you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not a victim of your negative experiences and the negative ideals that come into your world. You are victorious. Because, and this is the month of strength. Now we're in March, right? You have that strength within you that will see you over the war that is going on in your mind and in the people, with the people in your world. You are victorious over the famine that strips your body, that spiritual famine that strips your body of nourishment and nutrition. You are victorious over being a victim, over anything that holds you or tells you that you are a victim in your life. You will overcome. Fists in the air, affirm as loud as you can, I am not a victim. I am not a victim. I am victorious. I am victorious. Right? Sit in your chair like you know you're the king, the queen, the emperor, the ruler of your world. I am victorious. Whoever comes to betray me, whoever comes to bring me wrong, whoever comes to knock me off my dream, whoever comes to distract me from the goodness that I know that I am victorious over those emotions. One more time, fist in the air. I am victorious. And another thing I like to, one of my favorite phrases is, it's okay. It's okay. Iyanla Vanzant reminds us that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be a bundle of emotions. It's okay to be a mess. Some of us are just a mess, you know. It may not be in everything, but there are some things where we just can't get a good grip on. It's okay to be a mess of thoughts and hurts and ideas and fears and sadness. It's okay, but don't stay there too long. Identify it. If things are not going your way, stop. Look at yourself. Look at how you, because listen, everything, you are the common denominator for everything that you experience in your life. So if there's something that is causing you that friction in your world, the common denominator is you. And while it's okay to be a mess of emotions and a bundle of feelings, you have to identify it, you have to face it, and then you have to fix it. You can't live life being a bundle of mess. It's okay for a while, but there is something so much greater for you to experience. There was something so much greater for you to live and love and be. But at the end of the day, it's okay to be who you are right now. But if there's something more that you desire, it's also okay to move on. It's okay to want to be a better person, a bigger person, a loving person, a person who knows that they are truly a child of God. One more time, I am victorious. Friends, I want you to remember to pray and speak good for those who do you harm. Can you do this? Can you really sit back and say, you know what, if they knew better, they would do better? That has nothing to do with me. They may bring you harm, but there's a bigger dream that you have to fulfill. There's a bigger love that you have to bring into your world. You got to remember, though, that the people that bring you harm, it means that harm was done to them, right? Because if you are about love, if you have love in your life, love in your world, love in the people around you, you have no time to bring hurt to someone else because you don't know what that emotion is. So anyone that has hurt you is because they were hurt. And so you have to now come into your own consciousness and realize that, you know what? I can't let that person affect me because it causes the ripple effect in the rest of the world. So today we talk about forgiveness, and like I said, I work with our Keep It True Lent reading, and today's Keep It True Lent reading for the first Sunday in Lent is the altar. And the altar is this fixed, definite state of mind. It goes with a scripture reading found in Matthew chapter 5, and in verse 23 and 24 it reads, "So, when you are offering your gift at the altar, and you remember there that your brother or sister has any grievance against you, leave your gift and go make peace, and then come back and present your gift to the altar." Now, back in the day, you have to understand that people brought their gift to the altar so that they can feel closer to God. But here is the thing. You can't come to God holding on, right? People do what they want to do. You know, the hurt, the sadness is embedded in them. Is it embedded in you? And if it is, you have the power to erase it. You have the power to overcome it. So when there is unforgiveness, you cannot meditate properly. You cannot come to God because God doesn't need our hate. God doesn't need our fear and worry and depression and sadness. God doesn't need your anxiety and doubt and lack. So before you can fully come to forgive yourself, before you can fully connect and commune with this great and powerful, all universal force, you got to let those things go. Just because you feel it doesn't mean that it has to be a part of your life forever. You can get rid of the anxiety and the doubt and the fear and the lack and the want and the hate and the depression. You can do it right here and right now. Put your all on the altar. As they say, put your cards on the table. Put your all on the altar of yourself. Put your all on the altar of your dreams so that you are free to pray unanchored. Unanchored by the fear and the negation and the doubt and the worry. That is what's holding us back from truly feeling the movement of spirit, the movement of God, the upliftment of the soul that is within us. Today, you are free. Even if before you hit play on this video, you felt anger, you felt all that doubt and that negation, you were anchored in that, today you are bold enough to forgive. You are bold enough to move on. You are bold enough to be something greater and better than you ever dreamed that you were. Fists in the air, top of your lungs. I am free. I am free and bold enough to forgive. I am free and bold enough to forgive. And you might not feel that. You might feel like holding on to the anger just a little bit longer. But today, I assure you, you'll be much better if you let it go. You don't have to talk to that person again or bring them into your life. But again, for your own sake, for your own sanity, let it go. The last point I want to leave with you today is, again, taken from our Keep It True Land. I'll tell you, that book, if you have a chance to get into the Keep It True Land, please do. Like I said, I've had that book since 1996, and every year I find something great and wonderful. But today's message talks about prayer. Prayer does not change God, it changes us. So many people are praying, Lord, I don't want to deal with this, remove this from my life. And then when it doesn't happen, they say, but I prayed. But that's the path that you have to take. It's not removed from your life because you haven't learned the lesson of the experience. Once you learn the lesson, it removes. It is taken away from your life. Jesus spoke and said, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing, because he was transitioning from mortality into more spiritual joys. Today, you have the power to crucify. You have the power to forgive negation. And you have the power to resurrect your soul and give birth to new joys, new ways of living, new ways of bringing peace into your world. The power is all in you. All you have to do is name it, claim it. Know that the confidence, the strength is in you to move on to something greater and better in your world. Today, you are making the transition from what you thought your mortality was, right? From what you thought your physical nature was, from what you thought your human experience should be, right? We watch too much TV. And we watch too much movies that tell us that because you're whatever, because you're a woman, you have to act like this. Because you're a man, you have to act like that. Because you went through this experience, you have to be this. You have to be a victim. You have to be depressed. You have to be sad. But today, we're looking for more spiritual things. Today, we are making that transition from the human thought pattern into the divine thought pattern. And whatever is going on, whatever the issue, whatever we are faced with, whoever does us wrong, we can forgive ourselves. And we can forgive the people and the experiences in our world, because they do not know that they are messing with royalty. They are messing with the king's kid. And that is you. Put your fist in the air and affirm this last affirmation with me. I know what I am doing. Right? Any confusion in your world, you don't know how to get to the next phase? No, put your fist in the air and say, I know what I am doing. I know who I am in this world. I have confidence in God. I have confidence in me. Friends, I want to thank you for visiting us here at BlackDiamondWorldwide.org. Please remember to follow, like, share, and comment on our Facebook and Instagram pages at Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Throughout the week, we post inspirational quotes and affirmations. Please share, even if you screenshot. You don't have to give us the credit for it, but let's pass that good energy throughout the world to our friends, our family. Let's keep them encouraged and keep ourselves encouraged. Next week, we will look at the second word that Jesus spoke on the cross today. You will be with me in paradise. But for this week, for this Lenten season, work on forgiving yourself, forgiving the world, and know that as you do, you are moving greatly forward into that which is great and wonderful, putting a smile on your face every day. Smile. God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed.